Hey man, if you've ever read her body louder than her words, you're exactly where you need to be. They don't say it with words. They say it with posture, glances, and silence. If you've ever felt like something was off, but couldn't explain why, it's probably because you ignored the silent signals behind female body language. Most men do, and that's exactly what makes them invisible. But once you learn what she's really saying without speaking, you'll never see women the same way again. Because in the world of female psychology, nonverbal signals carry more truth than any sweet words ever could. And if you miss those sexual cues, you lose the game before it even starts. If this resonates with you, feel free to hit that like button, leave a comment, or share this with someone who's been asking the same questions you once did. It helps more men wake up, and that's the mission here. Let's break the silence, decode what's hidden behind the way she moves, looks, and reacts, and why it's been right in front of you all along. Reading the unspoken. Understanding the silent signals behind female body language. She won't tell you directly. That's the first thing you need to understand. Women don't hand out attraction on a silver platter. Instead, they signal, softly, subtly, and often in ways most men overlook. From a flick of the hair to a prolonged glance, nonverbal signals are her secret language. And no, it's not just about sexual cues. It's about reading between the lines of her presence. If you don't catch it, someone else will. She won't wait for you to notice. She'll just choose someone who already does. You've seen it before, maybe without realizing. She leans in closer when you speak, then pulls away when another man approaches. Her smile is different when she looks at you. Her body shifts slightly, just enough. These aren't accidents. They're attraction triggers in motion. The truth is, her body speaks before her mouth ever does. Female psychology is built on testing, filtering, and observing. If you've ever felt like she was testing your reaction, she was. And she's been doing it with silent attraction since the moment you locked eyes. Most men fail here because they expect honesty to come through words. But a woman's truth lives in tension. The kind you feel when she bites her lip, plays with her necklace, or crosses her legs slowly. That's not nervousness. That's sexual tension. You're watching a dance play out in slow motion, and every move she makes is calculated on some level. That doesn't make her manipulative. It makes her feminine. It's female nature, designed to select the strongest, most intuitive man without ever saying, "Choose me." There's a moment, right before she says anything, where everything is revealed. Her pupils dilate, her breathing slows, and she angles her body slightly toward you. That second holds more truth than an hour-long conversation. This is body language decoding 101, and it's where you either elevate your game or get left behind. Because understanding these nonverbal signals is what separates the observant man from the average one. And when you're aware of them, you step into alpha presence without saying a word. Let me give you a practical image. You walk into a room. She notices you before you even see her. Her eyebrows raise for half a second. Her shoulders straighten. She doesn't smile. Yet. That delay? That's interest mixed with strategy. She's assessing your confidence projection, your posture, your vibe. If you respond by shrinking or overreacting, the test is over. You failed. If you maintain emotional control, move with purpose, and speak with certainty, that's how a high-value man enters without needing permission. You see, attraction isn't random. It's patterned. There are behavioral patterns embedded into the way women respond to masculine energy. And those patterns are old, primal even. You're not dealing with logic, you're navigating instinct. From submissive behavior, like tilting the head or exposing the neck, to more bold moves like sustained eye contact dynamics, she's telling you exactly how she feels, if you're paying attention. If not, she'll keep signaling in silence, waiting for someone else to decode the message. It's easy to miss these things when you're distracted, insecure, or overthinking every word. That's what most men do. But if you slow down, observe, not react, you'll notice that women aren't as mysterious as they pretend to be. They operate on cues, instinct, and reaction. This is where male dominance comes in, not as aggression, but as presence. You don't chase the moment, you become the moment. That's what flips the switch in feminine interest. You lead by stillness, and she follows by design. Let's go deeper. When she's truly into you, her voice changes. It softens, becomes slightly higher in pitch. That tonal shift is a sexual cue, and it often happens unconsciously. She's not trying to seduce you. Her body is. That's the beauty of female psychology. Her attraction expresses itself before she even knows it. You'll also notice she mirrors your movements, adjusts her posture to match yours, or picks up on your pace. These are signs of mating strategy unfolding right in front of you. And no, this isn't about tricks or seduction games. This is about awareness. A man who understands power dynamics doesn't need to chase women. He simply sees what others don't. That alone gives him an edge. Once you recognize these silent attraction cues, your confidence doesn't need to be forced. It grows naturally, because now you're seeing the field clearly. No more guessing if she's into you, no more second guessing a date. You'll know when a woman's body is speaking and when it's saying yes. But here's the curveball. Some women intentionally test men who look like they understand the game. They'll send nonverbal signals, then pull them back just to see how you react. That's female testing in its raw form. She wants to know if your frame is solid or if it crumbles under pressure. Your job? Pass the test by not flinching. No need to call her out. Just continue being grounded. That's stoicism in practice, and women feel it more than they hear it. Here's a practical move. Next time you're in a conversation and you feel that subtle spark, pause and hold eye contact dynamics just a second longer than normal. Don't speak. Let the silence breathe. You'll feel the pressure build. That's not awkwardness. It's sexual tension. And if she maintains that eye contact, shifts closer, or touches her own body while looking at you, you're not imagining it. Those are primal indicators. That's her female nature expressing interest without using a single word. What about group settings? This is where preselection becomes powerful. When a woman sees other women reacting positively to you, laughing, touching, leaning in, her internal sensors activate. That's female psychology calculating your social value. She doesn't even realize it's happening. But her body reacts, adjusts, straightens, engages. Even a subtle change in her tone or proximity can reveal feminine interest. If you're aware of this, you don't need to chase. You let status signals work in your favor without ever bragging. You might be wondering, what if she's good at hiding it? Truth is, she's not. She just expects you not to notice. Women aren't trained to suppress these signals. They're trained to camouflage them with behavior. But the eyes never lie. If you want a real tell, watch where her feet point. Are they toward you or away? That's pure instinct. Body alignment reveals more than facial expressions. She might be smiling with her mouth, but her feet are voting with submissive behavior or avoidance. Now picture this. A woman sitting across from you, arms uncrossed, slightly leaning in, her voice lower, and her breath slightly quicker. She's laughing at your jokes even when they're not that funny. You've just unlocked her behavioral patterns without saying a word. This moment, right here, is where most men fumble because they try to do something. But you now understand that emotional leverage isn't about action. It's about calibration. Less is more. Awareness is louder than words, and presence beats performance. And just before we move forward, imagine what happens when a man finally sees all of this clearly, when he recognizes attraction triggers, deciphers nonverbal signals, and lets his masculine energy speak first. That man walks into any room and knows exactly where the attention is, and why. Not because he's arrogant, but because he's calibrated. You're not becoming manipulative, you're becoming aware. And when that awareness turns into mastery, everything shifts. Your interactions, your outcomes, your confidence. This isn't theory, it's reality you can feel. But here's the twist that throws most men off. Some of the strongest signs of female interest are cloaked in hesitation. A quick glance, and then a look away. A sudden change in topic. A casual compliment about something random. These aren't dismissals, they're shields. Many women test subtly because they don't want to expose themselves too early. Your job isn't to decode everything instantly, it's to hold space. That's how you project male dominance without ever needing to dominate. She'll feel it before you speak. And here, a pause, because if this type of content is opening your eyes to things you never noticed before, it's time to stop watching passively. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment if this is finally making things click. Don't wait to become the man who always arrives too late. The silent signals are always there, but they only work for the man who's ready to see them. This is your time. Let's keep going. Let me tell you about Marcus. He used to think women were either hot or cold, interested or not. No in between. Until one day, he started paying attention. At a coffee shop, a woman brushed her hair behind her ear every time he looked up. Her legs shifted toward him. No words, just patterns. He didn't approach, he just observed. Later, she walked by, dropped a napkin near his table, and smiled. That's when it hit him. She had been broadcasting silent attraction all along. What Marcus learned that day changed everything. He realized women aren't waiting to say hello. They're waiting for you to decode their signals. And here's where most men go wrong. They confuse reaction with readiness. If you jump too fast, you break the moment. But if you hold emotional control, let her keep building that energy, she'll invest more. Why? Because you didn't flinch, you didn't chase. You embodied stoicism, not coldness, but strength under pressure. That's what kept her coming back. And this applies even in digital settings. On social media, her fast replies, the way she uses emojis, the frequency of interaction, those are all part of female psychology. But here's the key. It's not about overanalyzing every text. It's about noticing behavioral patterns. Does her energy increase over time? Or fade? Does she circle back when you go silent? Those are indicators of female testing and interest. You pass by being consistent, not reactive. By being the high-value man, not the pursuer. Ever noticed how some men don't even need to speak much, and women seem drawn to them? That's the effect of alpha presence. It's not about muscles or money, it's about stillness, clarity, certainty. A man grounded in masculine energy doesn't rush to impress. He listens, observes, responds with precision, and because of that, women feel safer, more intrigued, more open. Her body relaxes. Her laugh is more authentic. She starts showing submissive behavior without even realizing it. That's not control, it's alignment. This is why trying to be nice or say the right thing often backfires. When you focus too much on words, you miss the nonverbal signals screaming in the background. Women aren't just listening, they're feeling. They're gauging your vibe, your rhythm, your confidence projection. You might say all the right things, but if your body is tense, your eye contact is weak, or your energy is off, she'll know. She won't say anything, but she'll feel everything. And she'll quietly lose interest. So how do you sharpen this awareness? Practice in silence. Go out without the goal of talking. Just observe. Watch how women shift when certain men enter the room. Pay attention to status signals, to preselection, to the way female bodies instinctively react when they feel a certain energy. Then ask yourself, do I carry that energy? Am I centered, calm, and self-led? Or am I chasing approval with every word? The moment you stop seeking validation, the signals start finding you. One powerful habit: record yourself walking into a room. Watch your posture, your pace, your eye contact. Are you rushing, shrinking, avoiding? Then, reverse engineer what a high-value man would look like entering that same space. Practice it daily. Pair it with breathwork, micro-meditations, even cold exposure, to build emotional control from the inside out. These aren't gimmicks, they're disciplines, and women don't consciously notice them, but their bodies do. That's how you become the man her instincts trust, even before her mind catches up. Let's talk about confusion. Many guys get stuck because they expect all signals to be loud, clear, and obvious, but that's not how female psychology works. Attraction isn't always about approach. It's often about mating strategy. A woman may dress modestly but still exhibit sexual cues through micro-behaviors. Lips parted slightly when you speak, fingers fidgeting, feet pointing toward you. These aren't accidents. They're invitations with plausible deniability. If you wait for clear signs, you'll miss the entire conversation her body is already having. Some women will even act cold or indifferent when they're actually testing. That's hypergamy in action. It's not just about who you are, but how you handle her resistance. A man who flinches, reacts emotionally, or seeks reassurance fails the test. But a man who stays rooted in stoicism, unbothered by surface-level behavior, passes without even trying. Because deep down, what she wants is a man who won't crumble under pressure. Her female testing is just a filter for that kind of man. You know what else speaks volumes? The way she talks about other men. Pay attention to how she describes past relationships. Is there subtle bitterness, admiration, disgust? These emotional tones give away her blueprint, her history of attraction, patterns, wounds. Understanding this gives you emotional leverage. You're no longer guessing what she wants. You're listening to what her history already revealed. Combine that with nonverbal signals in real time, and you'll start seeing every interaction as part of a larger story she's already told. This is where emotional mastery becomes magnetic. When you're fully present, attuned, and deliberate in your movements, you activate silent attraction without trying. You walk slower, you speak with calm authority, you give space, and in that space, she leans forward. That's feminine interest revealing itself, not through words, but through rhythm, breath, tension. And when she senses that you're aware, but not reactive, she relaxes into submissive behavior, not because she's weak, but because you made it safe to drop the mask. Let's break this down practically. At your next social event, watch how she behaves around different types of men. You'll see her smile at one, but not lean in, laugh with another, but keep her arms crossed. Then a guy walks in, says almost nothing, and she adjusts her hair, tilts her head, and repositions her body. That's attraction triggers at work. These behavioral patterns aren't random, they're biological. And when you learn to read them, you stop asking, is she interested? You already know. And here's something most never consider. Women are often more afraid of being misunderstood than rejected. So instead of direct expressions, they offer layered nonverbal signals. They hope the right man will read them without being told. That's why eye contact dynamics carry so much weight. It's a mutual acknowledgement that something's happening below the surface. Hold it just long enough to create tension, then look away slowly. Let her wonder. Let her lean in. That space between looks, that's where desire grows. When a man masters this art, he no longer seeks validation. He becomes the reference point. His body speaks louder than his words. His confidence projection fills the room before he even opens his mouth. And women notice, not because he's loud, but because he's aware, because he listens with his eyes. And in a world where most men talk over signs, interrupt cues, or chase what isn't real, He stands out by simply seeing. That's alpha presence in motion. Silent, grounded, unmistakable. At this point, you're no longer just noticing the signs, you're interpreting them in real time. That's where transformation begins. You no longer ask, what does this mean? You already know. And that shift in awareness puts you in control, not of her, but of yourself. You're using stoicism to filter through confusion, not emotion. You respond instead of reacting. You lead instead of chasing. And the woman in front of you feels it because her female nature is wired to detect exactly that. Remember this, female psychology isn't about decoding mystery. It's about understanding clarity hidden in motion. Her body gives you information constantly. Her tone, posture, pace, rhythm. When you embrace that awareness, you stop asking what to say next. You feel it. You say less. You listen with your whole presence. And in doing so, you become the man who sees what others miss. That man doesn't need to perform. He doesn't beg for attention, because he already has what women are silently searching for. If you walk away with one core insight, let it be this. Attraction is nonverbal before it's verbal. Desire is broadcasted before it's confessed. And every test, every glance, every pause is a mirror, not of her, but of you. Are you aware? Are you grounded? Are you sharp enough to sense sexual cues and calm enough to pass female testing without effort? That's what separates the boy from the man. That's what makes your presence unforgettable, even in silence. You're not here to decode women to manipulate them. You're here to awaken your edge, to walk into life reading every room like a map. With power dynamics in your pocket and emotional leverage in your tone, the man who understands the silent signals behind female body language doesn't chase women. He challenges them to rise. And she will, because her nature demands polarity. So next time you're in a room, don't ask what she thinks of you. Watch what her body says. It always speaks first. Now that you've seen what most men will never notice, the real question is, what are you going to do with it? Will you go back to guessing, hoping, overthinking every interaction? Or will you start observing, owning and decoding the world in front of you? Because once you begin to read her nonverbal signals, every room becomes an opportunity. Every conversation becomes a map. Every look becomes a test you're ready for. So let me ask you, what's the most surprising female signal you've misread before, or one you finally recognized too late? Drop it in the comments with the phrase, "Now I see what she was really saying." Let's see how many of us were blind before we were awake. And hey, if you made it this far, thank you, truly. That means you're not like most men. You're ready to see what others overlook. And for that, you deserve to be surrounded by the kind of knowledge that rewires your reality. So if this hit you on a deeper level, give the video a like. Send it to that one friend who always misreads women. Subscribe if you haven't already. And turn on the bell so you never miss another piece of the puzzle again.